All right. So I am going to give everyone a minute to filter in. We actually have over 200 people registered today. So I'm going to give that a moment. I am going to launch a quick poll here. If all of you attending wouldn't mind filling it out as we wait a few more moments. Great. Okay. We are going to get started. Welcome and thank you so much for joining today's webinar on how profitable is your wine, tracking COGS and profit. My name is Michelle Del Rio and I'm the Growth Marketing Manager here at Innovent. As I said before, we have over, I think it's at 245 registered today. So yeah, I'm seeing that number grow. Excited to see some familiar names on the attendee list, as well as some that are brand new to both Innovent and WinePulse. So if you hear some information today that is old news to you because you've been using either Innovent or WinePulse, just know there's a lot of people here that have no idea. All right, I'm going to move to slide number 2 to introduce you to our fabulous presenters. So first up, we have our partner, Remy Saviani, who is the owner and founder of WinePulse. From Innovent, we have Kevin Williams, who is the director of sales here. And last but certainly not least at all, we have Kevin Merritt, who will be our Q&A moderator. He is the Chief Operating Officer at Innovent. And I'm actually going to pass the mic over to Kevin Merritt so he can go through the agenda with you all today.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to provide a little bit of context for today's webinar. As Michelle said, I'm also going to be the moderator of Q&A. So I'll remind you, if you have questions, just click on that little Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, type it in. If I think the question needs to be answered kind of in real time, I'll interrupt the panelists and ask them to answer that question. Otherwise, I may hold your question for the end. So today, basically, I'm going to give you a business context of why tracking profit by product even matters. We're going to provide an overview of who Innovent is, who WinePulse is, but most of the presentation today will be a live demonstration by Kevin and Remy showing you the integration between Innovent and WinePulse. And then finally, we'll open it up for Q&A at the end. Again, you can submit questions at the bottom, click on the Q&A button, and I will be moderating those questions throughout the course of the webinar. So why does tracking profit by product or by SKU even matter for you as a person who works for a winery? Well, you probably know about your overall profitability. Is your winery making money or not? But do you know whether you're making more profit from, let's say, a 2019 single varietal Syrah, or maybe from that same vintage, you have a GSM blend that you're making from the press fractions from your other wines. Which one of those wines is more profitable? Well, obviously, the kind of two components are how much are you selling that wine for, and how much is it costing you to produce that wine? And so today, through this demonstration, we're going to show you how you can, in a very granular level, track your costs, allocate those costs to the specific lots of wine that you're producing, and then track your sales by channel. And then when you marry those two up, sales minus cost equals profit, you'll be able to see your profitability by product, which can influence very important business decisions that you make, like how much do you price each of those wines? How much do you discount them to your club? Even really important planning decisions like, should you buy more of that Syrah fruit next year in that it is a more profitable wine than that GSM blend? So those are the questions that we're going to answer here today. We're going to do that mostly through demonstration by Remy and Kevin. So looking forward to it. And again, I will be moderating questions in the Q&A section. So just if you have a question, click on the Q&A button and we will address them at the appropriate time.
Wonderful. Thanks, Kevin Merritt. Great intro and very excited to be with you all today. Thank you all for making time in your day to learn about profitability. And, really the first question we want to pose here is, how much is each wine costing you to make? And this question often gets responded to with immediate sigh, a shrug of the shoulders, and a simple response of, well, we're not really sure. An overwhelming amount of wineries today will tell you that they have no idea what it costs to produce their wines at the individual SKU. And this is primarily just because it's incredibly difficult, nearly impossible to track your cost of goods at the SKU level without production software managing your day-to-day workflow. Simply tracking cost of raw materials through the life of your wine is extremely complex through blends, toppings, volume losses, ingredient consumption. And while accounting solutions manage your general ledger and your cost overheads, there's no way to allocate these costs and apply them to specific SKUs or programs. So gaining full cost transparency is really at the forefront of sustaining a healthy business, and probably why a lot of you have joined us today. With inflation continuing to reach new heights, wineries must be intentional on focusing and quantifying their profitability down to each SKU. And with Innovent, wineries can track COGS effortlessly, enabling real-time work in progress costs, creating visibility to make better and more informed decisions. So what is Innovent? Who is Innovent? Innovent is, or we are, a widely adopted, purpose-built wine production management solution. We're an experience-led, experience-driven company empowering wineries of all sizes with approachable, powerful technology to manage everything from vineyard to bottle, all facets of wine production. Our software starts in the vineyards, tracks key vineyard events, analysis, grower contracts of all incoming fruit. We simplify harvest planning, scheduling, receiving, and processing at the winery. We streamline all of your cellar planning and execution of all winery workflows and daily activities. We manage all of your bulk wine and lot inventories with extensive reporting capabilities and tracking all of your lab additions, activities, with full traceability, so you don't have to manage, many various different spreadsheets. We manage all of your dry goods inventory and accurately deplete stocks. And consuming those costs, we capture and manage case goods. Once inventory is bottled, we automatically populate and generate your TTB reporting for you. And finally, we enable cost accounting solutions, providing wineries with full cost transparency down to each SKU produced. In short, wineries gain immense value in having a centralized, intuitive solution, reducing a lot of friction points, siloed spreadsheets, and manual processes to help create and open up communication channels between and within all winery departments. And on top of that, how does Innovent track costs? As I shared in my introduction, tracking and applying wine costs is extremely complex, which is why the greater majority of wineries are just broadly spreading all of their winery costs across all of their case goods with no clear visibility into what each wine is costing them to make. The only way to precisely understand unit cost is to use a production management system that follows the unit cost through the life of a wine as it's being produced. Your accounting system is, your accounting software is your source of dollars, and Innovent is your source of unit cost. And Innovent allows wineries to track both direct and indirect cost. Some direct costs being your fruit and bulk wine costs, your packaging costs, additives, and indirect costs being production payroll and benefits, utilities and building fees, and other indirect winery overheads. So when fruit, juice, or bulk wine is received at the winery, users can apply the raw material cost or purchase price through the production lifecycle. Innovent automatically calculates the cost through all winery activities, blends, additive consumption, gains and losses of volume to show true active work in progress cost at the lot level. And on a monthly basis, or more frequent, wineries can allocate these cost overheads across all our specific lots of inventory. And finally, when Innovent's tracking your packaging inventory and costs as well. So when it comes time to bottle, packaging cost gets consumed into the final cost of goods of the finished SKU.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. My name is Remy, and I am the owner of WinePulse. So WinePulse is a DTC reporting solution for wineries. It includes 40 dashboards, over 80 analytics reports. And if you're not using a solution like WinePulse today, there is a good chance that in order to track your sales and your DTC metrics, so there is a good chance that you're downloading big raw data Excel files from your POS system like WineDirect or Commerce 7, and you are then creating your own reports. It does take time. They are not always easy to share with the rest of the team. And one of the challenges is that soon as you have downloading, orders information, customer information, club membership information, and created the updated metrics for your winery, it's out of date. And it's very time consuming. So it's difficult for wineries to basically keep the pulse on their direct consumer sales without an analytic solutions that can basically do it for you automatically and daily. So that's the problem I was trying to solve when I started WinePulse, to help wineries keep track of their direct consumer sales performance across sales channels and across many DTC metrics. So if we go to the next slide, so like I was saying earlier, so WinePulse is a DTC reporting solution. It works with Commerce 7 and WineDirect. There's now over 170 wineries using it. And I would say that we have 4 categories of reports. The first category and the most important one is around your DTC analysis. Automatically knowing what are your sales by channels, what is your average order value, are you trending up or down versus last year? A calculation of many metrics like what is the wine order conversion rate of your staff, the ability of your sales associate to transform tasters into buyers of wine. We have reports around club membership analysis, visualizing, calculating your sales by SKU and by channel. So many reports tracking the performance of your sales associates. So a lot of reports and dashboards around DTC analysis. The second thing we do is goals. If you like, you're able to enter goals in WinePulse and to automatically track your actual sales versus your goals, but also some specific metrics for tasting room, specific metrics for club membership, and you can track automatically your actuals versus your goals. The third thing we do is customer analysis. Where are your customers coming from? Who are your best customers? But more importantly, who are your best customers at risk? Who are these top buyers of your wine that are not ordering anymore from you and that may be in the process of forgetting about your winery? So how do you identify these people quickly and automatically? So we have reports to do to find out who these people are. Who are your club members at risk? We also have reports to do that. And the last thing we do is peers comparisons. Now with over 170 wineries using WinePulse, and they use WinePulse to track their data accurately and automatically, becomes an interesting set of wineries, data sets for wineries. And so you're able to track pretty much in real time, as of last night, midnight, your peers' performance, sales, overall sales, sales by channel, your wine order conversion rate. Is it better than another winery? Your average order value, is it going up? Is it going down? So we have many metrics that we track at the peers level. So that is what WinePulse is about, is to save you time and to provide, to give you a pulse on your DTC sales across many metrics automatically and daily.
Great, Remy. What a powerful tool there. Yeah, so tying Innovent together with WinePulse and providing a integrated solution for the wine industry, what problem does this solve? In short, improves profitability. Innovent's wine COGS tracking module will enable full cost transparency, which can influence and improve better blending decisions. I know most wineries would love to know the cost implications of blending lots together and not just blending to meet label requirements. Innovent enables the most accurate SKU level COGS tracking, and with WinePulse, we can automatically quantify your profitability against past sales performance, providing gross margin per SKU. This insight, it really helps improve marketing decisions as well. I know we have some marketing folks on the call, just helping build specials, promotions, and programs on specific wines as we move into the holiday season, for instance. And ultimately, the goal here is to help influence wineries and improve future investment decisions when it comes to planting and even sourcing fruit, as well as helping you all negotiate better contracts for the fruit and bulk that you all are producing.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and give a very quick demo of WinePulse. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I'm connected to WinePulse. I'm using a browser. At the top, there is a bunch of folders organized by theme, tracking your overall DTC performance, tracking tasting room information, club, customer analysis. And at the bottom, you can see what we call mobile reports that basically people call dashboards. So let's say you want to have a quick overview of what happened yesterday at your winery. You can go to the DTC daily dashboard. And here, you can see for this winery, their net DTC sales for yesterday, how many tasters they had yesterday, how many clubs sign up. You get a quick overview of how many active members you have in your clubs and how you're trending since the beginning of the year. For yesterday, you get an overview of your sales by customer type, sales by channel, sales by associate, as well as sales by department. You also get a quick overview for yesterday of your sales by product. On the same dashboard, you get to see your net DTC sales month to date and how you are trending versus the same month to date last year. And you have the same information for your net DTC sales year to date and how you are trending versus the same year to date last year. And you have the same information for the number of tasters month to date and the same information for tasters year to date. So here with this dashboard, you get to see quickly what happened yesterday in terms of DTC sales, how you're doing month to date, how you're doing year to date. So you're not going to be surprised. Month to date, not so good. Year to date, it's still okay. Now, if you go to the monthly or yearly dashboard, you're going to have a different view of your business for, let's say, for year to date. So we can see that these wineries, their net DTC sales is up 4% for the year. And you can see the number of club sign up so far this year. So they're signing up less people than at the same period of time last year, so year to date. They have lost a little bit of active members since the beginning of the year. Their overall membership is down 1%. But you can also see the split of sales by channel, the sales by channel performance. So the big picture for this year for this winery, tasting room sales are still up year to date. Club sales are up. Online sales are down. And you get your AOV by channel, sales by department, and this kind of thing. That's for your overall DTC sales. If you want to look at tasting room, you can go to a daily, monthly, or yearly dashboard. For example, if I go to the monthly dashboard, I'm going to see only tasting room sales information, but I'm also going to see tasting room metrics, such as number of tasters. So you see this month, so far, they have less tasters. But the problem is that their wine average order value is also down this month compared to the same period of time last year, so December 2021. And also their wine order conversion rate is lower. So what's happening for this winery so far this month, just a few days, is that they have less traffic. When people buy wine, they buy less wine. And when it comes to converting tasters into buyers of wine, they have a lower conversion rate. So it's a bit challenging so far this month. But these are dashboards, and these dashboards, you can look at them on your phone if you want. For wineries using Commerce 7, you can even track your sales in real time during the day. You go to the live dashboard, you're going to see on your phone your sales in real time during the day. Now we have many analytics reports. For example, and that is something important, you can track your sales by day and product. So let's say you want to find out quickly, okay, what did I sell online so far this month? Or actually, what did I sell online last month? Okay, view report. And you see here in seconds, I can see my list of product, the sales amount, the quantity sold, the quantity written off, because we also track bottles poured or bottles that you may use for samples, and the total quantity. You can even see the detail by day. So it's this kind of information that we are sharing with Innovent, and we're sending aggregate information of sales by SKU and channel by day. So they see an aggregate information. But in WinePulse, you have the detailed information, of course. You can also do things like tracking the performance of your sales associate. You go to sales associate performance, sales associate overview, and quickly you can find out, for each sales associate, total sales, number of tasters, how many clubs sign up, what is their wine order conversion rate, how many bottles of wine did they sell, average order value. You can even see the list of sales associates and which clubs they sign up. So the idea is to save you time. Yes, you could find out this information through the Excel file provided by your POS system. It's going to take you time to do all this calculation. We have customer analysis report, for example. Let's say you want to find out a list of customers, around a specific zip code. So you could enter, let's say, the zip code of your tasting room and say, hey, show me all my customers who live 20 miles from my tasting room location. So because it's a demo, we don't display first name, last name, email, and phone number, but obviously you will see it for your customers. And here, it's a long list of customers that you can export to Excel, and you're going to see metrics for each customer, like the last time they visited the tasting room, last time they placed an order online, are they a club member or not? You can see their split of sales by channel for the last 12 months and the previous last 12 months, all the way to tracking per customer the number of tasting room visits, or online orders, or average order value. So super easy, for example, for you to find out, okay, who are my local customers? And among my local customers, who are club members? And among the club members, show me the people who didn't visit this year. Super easy to do it with WinePulse. So we also have peers information, email analytics, online sales analysis, plenty of club reports to do membership analysis and stuff like that, calculating your attrition. So that's what WinePulse is about. And again, it's fully automatic, and you don't have to download any sales information. So back to you, Kevin.
Wonderful. Thank you, Remy. What a powerful and impactful tool for wineries that you're bringing to surface here. So much good and rich data to work through, which is fantastic. Well done. Thanks, everyone. So quick jump through Innovent. If you're an existing client, there might be some nice refresher items here or new things you haven't seen. And if you're new, I'd love to walk through a general overview of Innovent, and more specifically for this webinar, how Innovent's tracking COGS and through the entire profitability reporting with our integration with WinePulse. So jumping into Innovent, you all should be able to see my screen. This is the Innovent desktop view. The solution is 100% cloud-based and is accessible on any device, including your mobile phones, iPads, tablets, or what have you. The platform is designed for all winery users, or winery users of all levels, from your harvest interns all the way up through leadership. On the left-hand navigation, we make it very easy for you to access all facets of your production, from the vineyard module to your current active wine lots, your vessel explorer and lots, all of your work order management through blending trials, intended uses, and finishing up with case goods here. If I jump into the lot explorer, this shows, once again, all of my active wine lots with great information right in front of you in this explorer, showing lot names or just the lot code, my contents, the vessels that it occupies, my vintage, varietal, the stage. I can show work orders or hide them, as well as have other relevant information and segment this data to look for, find exactly what I'm looking for. Drilling into a specific wine lot, I'm presented with a great level of the most recent information on this wine, including my most recent analysis and the sources of this lab analysis, the vessels that it's occupying, open work orders or completed work orders, my recent history, my composition, and all of my wine attributes, including the expected yield based on the tonnage I've received, my current fill, and what's the approximate case production of this wine. Through all of the tabs above, this is illustrating a lot more detailed information, once again, helping you remove all of the siloed and disparate spreadsheets that most wineries are currently managing today. So I can look at all of my lab analysis grouped by date, analysis type, and down to a specific vessel. I can group them by vessel. I can show bricks and temp visual graphs. I can also graph other pertinent information, as well as pH, TA, or other analysis types that you'd like to see. I can see all of the additions that this lot has consumed. Once again, the vessels it occupies, a complete history for full traceability reporting, my detailed composition with all vineyard fruit components, as well as bulk wine components that may have been blended or topped into this wine. And of course, bringing to life a complete visual overview of my active work in progress cost of this specific lot. This is showing me my total cost of the entire volume, broken down by gallon, as well as per 750 milliliter increment. This also shows the breakdown of cost based on cost categories, some of these being direct cost, like bulk wine, fruit, additives, bosses, or indirect cost categories like consulting or overhead, labor, and cellar. All of these costs are audited or showing the full lot cost history through all of the day-to-day workflows and activities that have happened to this wine. So we have up here showing any topping, transfers, racking, or blending implications to what the volume change and the new unit cost were, as well as indirect cost allocations that have been consumed into this lot. And this is very easy to apply from your accounting software. The majority of wineries are looking at their cost overheads on a monthly basis. And within the costing tab, users are able to simply add a cost item, determine what cost category that this may be under. We can do labor and cellar. We can have a more broad overview of general overheads, which we can present here. So we're going to say November overheads 2022. We will put this at $12,000, and we're going to go ahead and backdate this to the last day of November. From there, we're able to simply allocate that cost across one, some, or all of your active wine lots that are currently in inventory. Once I apply all of the lots here, I'm able to then proportionally distribute those costs based on volume, which we have automatic calculators that can do that for. We can also break down $1 per lot or $1 per gallon, which will also calculate automatically for you. In this case, we'll do a proportionally allocated cost adjustment, which will look at the current contents as well as the lot cost apply those accordingly, and we can very simply record all of those cost items, bringing the balance sheet to zero based on the overheads in the GL. Once wines move through the bottling process into a finished case goods, you can easily access all of your finished case goods within the Case Goods Explorer here, listing, once again, all of your case goods, the format, how much inventory you have on hand, the stage, so shiners, pre-releases, tax paid, what's available to order, vintage, varietal, appellation. All of this information feeds up through the production process. If I click into a specific case goods lot, we'll be able to see the full traceability of all my analysis, history, packaging, my composition, and once again, the cost of that finished case goods. Where this integration really kicks off is when you marry your case goods to a SKU. We have direct integrations with front of house systems like Commerce 7, where you can simply create your product and SKU right within the Innovent interface. We can also go ahead and apply that new SKU directly by adding that within the database. It recognizes that SKU in WinePulse, and going back to our profitability reporting under cost tracking, this allows us to see our overarching view of what each SKU in case goods lot is costing us, what our revenue is, and what our profit margins are at the highest level. We also have some great insight to see how much inventory we've produced, what we've sold, and what percentage we have remaining. And in turn, we also equipped you with estimated or forecasted views of the total revenue and total profit per SKU, tracking your average revenue and profit margins at each unit based on what it's sold for, excuse me. This is incredibly powerful technology, and it's truly that simple. Our goal here is to unite best of breed systems to improve all of your reporting and insights, putting you in the driver's seat to build, once again, a much more profitable future. So I asked the question again, how profitable is each SKU of wine you produce? Accurately allocating winery costs and having SKU level profitability metrics is no longer just a far-fetched idea or hope. As you saw in the demo, Innovent makes SKU level cost tracking effortless and allows you to see how much it costs you to produce each wine that you make. Our integration with WinePulse bridges the gap, integrating SKU level sales performance against your finished case goods within Innovent, showing at the SKU level total revenue and profit, total production, what was sold, and your percent of inventory remaining, average revenue and profit per unit sold, and once again, forecasting that out to show total revenue and profit from each case goods sold lot. So how can you get it? How can your winery become more profitable? It's 3 easy steps. Number 1, make sure your Innovent account has winery cost tracking turned on or activated. If you're not a customer of Innovent, reach out to us. You can get in touch by sending an email to sales@innovent.com or requesting a meeting on our website. Number 2, sign up for WinePulse. WinePulse is offering a very generous and exclusive offer on your first year subscription, discounting the subscription price 20%. And once those 2 solutions are activated and implemented at your winery, you activate the integration. And this integration is extremely simple to set up. We configure your accounts once, and the integration will work for all new SKUs and sales data, which is continuous going forward. And lastly, the integration is free. This is a no-brainer. Our goal here is to equip wineries with insights today that make for a more profitable business tomorrow. And I'd like to pass it back to Kevin Merritt for some Q&A.
Awesome. Great job, Kevin and Remy. Lots of fantastic questions coming in from the participants in the webinar today. So I'm just going to kind of take them in chronological order. I know Remy already answered a few questions that were specific to WinePulse. The first one I'm going to summarize. It's a little bit long, but Kevin, can you talk a little bit about packaging and how the costs of packaging are allocated to the lots of wine that are being produced? And then specifically when you have excess packaging, so you have extra glass, extra corks, extra enclosures, can you reuse that extra packaging for another case good lot, and how are those costs allocated?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. I saw that one pop up and I was excited to answer it. Right now, I think managing packaging is its own animal, and the cost on top of that is, just creating, once again, much more complexity than is really required. Utilizing Innovent as your wine production tool, we have a dry goods management solution, which allows you to manage all of your additives, but also your packaging. So as packaging is being purchased, your POs, meaning your inventory and the cost of each unit, is being consumed or brought into Innovent, where we are then able to apply that packaging to the bottling work order or activity as it's being executed within Innovent. Innovent's tracking the cost of that. We also track any scrap or damaged packaging that gets consumed in that bottling run as well to consume the cost. And then the last part of that was, cost on hand or cost remaining. Innovent still within the dry goods module is showing you how much packaging that you have left over and the cost of that, which is still remaining in your warehouse to be used for future bottling runs.
Great, thanks, Kevin. Next question I think is also best for you. How do you account for aging costs in Innovent?
Absolutely. So aging costs, this could be quite a range of items, from barrel depreciation to storage to what have you. This really comes down to general winery practice. This can be as simple or more granular based on the winery team and the accounting practices there. But Innovent has cost categories that allow the winery to determine what costs should be consumed into those lots over a period of time. And those can be consumed, once again, in a broad stroke. If you're looking at, let's say, your rent or building cost over a time period, they can be more intentional if you're looking at barrel depreciation for red wines, for instance, and applying those costs specifically to those lots.
Perfect. Can you talk a little bit about Innovent's integration with QuickBooks? Does it integrate via its API? And can it bring expense information back and forth between QuickBooks and Innovent?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's often left to understanding, once again, the winery practice today. QuickBooks, in short, is not built for comprehensive wine finance management. And so there's a lot of simplicity within that tool, which is great for wineries starting out. Innovent carries a lot more detailed information on the costing side. And when you're looking at your financial system, in this case, QuickBooks, you're looking at your more broad cost overheads and cost categories, and you are applying those costs or allocating those costs within your active inventories to get that balance sheet to zero. Most of our clients do really appreciate and want that end of month cost reconciliation to ensure that balance sheet is getting to zero. And we have several CPA and financial partners that leverage Innovent solely for the cost accounting of their wine with the addition of QuickBooks. So there's not a direct integration today, but Innovent's providing the data and exports needed to get that balance sheet to zero and check off the month, continuing to move forward.
Great. The next question is about pre-bottling costs. Can pre-bottling costs be added and distributed after they have been bottled?
Absolutely. So costs can be brought in at any time, even wines that you already have on the shelf. Innovent has backdating capabilities with that retroactively roll up to the current moment in time. So if it's on a historical wine, or it's a wine that's already been aging and you're wanting to bring costs back, maybe there was some additional bonuses or provisions on the fruit that you acquired that you need to update, or additional costs that need to be brought back several months before the current period. As I showed you in the demonstration, you can backdate those costs, and Innovent's retroactively calculating that from the cost effective date all the way through the current active date.
Great. What about revenue from systems other than Commerce 7 or Wine Direct? Can that come into Innovent and show profitability?
We don't have that today. It's definitely, the focus here is to build, obviously, a more overarching view of all of your sales channels coming through. The integration with WinePulse really confirmed that this is extremely compelling and necessary for wineries to be able to track at the SKU level. The beautiful thing is Innovent is still generating your strong SKU level cost of goods through direct to consumer. WinePulse is presenting great information and having that come feedback into Innovent. You can also leverage the profitability report to look at your sales by SKU across your other sales channels and have that appropriately measured.
Let me add some color here. It's possible for wineries using WinePulse to import orders from third-party systems. So I have a bunch of wineries where we have a little integration working, and they import wholesale orders in WinePulse, and they track these sales with a wholesale channel in WinePulse. Like we have tasting room channel, we have club channel. They can also see a wholesale channel. And then if you have the integration between WinePulse and Innovent, it's going to flow to Innovent. The quantity by SKU and by channel, the corresponding sales price is going to show up in Innovent, and they will be able to see their profitability, including from third-party sales that are not from their POS.
Thanks, Remy. That actually brings up another question that's kind of appropriate to your most recent answer, which is, can you talk a little bit about how you map the stock keeping unit or the product in WinePulse to the lot in Innovent?
I'll let Kevin answer this question.
Yeah, so that's
in Innovent.
It's done in Innovent. It was performed in the demo where you're basically marrying that SKU to the case goods lot within the platform. So it's very simple. Once you have a finished case goods, Innovent does have the ability for you to create a SKU. It's completely flexible from a naming or nomenclature on what that SKU code is. And that can then, once again, follow through your direct to consumer solution, which then passes to WinePulse, which then passes back to Innovent. And SKU creation can come primarily at the Innovent level that would circle all the way back around.
And something important for the audience to understand is that you're dealing with multiple systems. You have your POS systems, you have your wine production software, you have your sales reporting solution. They talk to each other. All of that is automatic. All of that is automatic. I mean, the integration, the WinePulse sending data to Innovent, it's automatic. It runs in the background. You don't even know it's happening. Sales information going from your POS to WinePulse, it's automatic. you don't even know it's happening. You don't have to download anything. You don't have to press any buttons. It just takes place automatically instead of dealing with so many Excel files. Here, it's happening in the background without even you knowing it.
Very good. Next question for you, I think this is Kevin, is can you talk a little bit about estate vineyards and how you assign the cost for fruit when you're not purchasing the fruit, you're growing it?
That's a great question. So in most capacities, you'll have visibility into what it costs you to farm and get that fruit through that current period. That would be applied as your fruit cost as you're bringing in that raw material. So we're not tracking your cost through the agriculture side of farming and growing your grapes. We are receiving that cost from a raw material, whether that is grape or bulk, as it's coming into Innovent.
Very good. Well, that's the end of all the what I'll call general questions. There are a few other questions that are very specific to the wineries that are from the person asking the question, and I will respond to you privately in just a moment. But for now, I think that wraps up all of the general Q&A from the audience. I'll turn it back over to you, Michelle, to take us home.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining today. Please look in your email for an email from us in the coming days with the recording as well as the slide presentation. I hope that this was valuable to you today. And if you're thinking of somebody that might also find it valuable, please feel free to share this along with them. As the presenters said, you can reach out to either of them, either through the website. We'll have their contact information in the follow-up email. And I will also say that we have a very short survey right after this webinar. We'd love to just get your feedback. Is this the kind of content that you're interested in? Was it educational? Was it helpful? And what other topics you might be interested in the future? Because we have a lot of data here at Innovent, obviously WinePulse as well. We want to know what's most valuable to you and provide that along with incredible software. So I think that wraps it up. Thank you so much to everyone that joined. It was an incredible turnout, and have a great rest of your week.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Talk to you soon. Bye.